will say that the one visitor that I invited first, again, thank you to Melissa for inviting me a couple of months ago. But I believe my one visitor is trying to hop on, Michelle Miller.
I saw that. I was going to acknowledge her. It keeps saying connecting to audio, but if I scroll over, Michelle's name does show up. And we also have our newest member on board. I think I saw Bailey's name. Yeah, Bailey's on. That's great. Well, it's 5 after, or very close to it. So let's go ahead and get started. And as usual, our first order of business, if I can get my flag, is I'll recite the Pledge of Allegiance. Join if you'd like to. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And if you are not already muted, could we have everybody mute to cut down on any background noise? As in the past, we are opening up the Zoom meeting closer to 11:30. So if you want to jump on early, by all means do that. I wanted to acknowledge two guests. And I see Michelle Miller is on, and she's expressed an interest in joining our club. And so welcome to our meeting, Michelle. And I also saw Bailey Brown, who is our newest member officially as of last Tuesday. The board approved that application. So welcome aboard, Bailey. And I'm scanning. I do see some faces I haven't seen for a while, so that's great. I don't see any other guests. So anyway, we'll dispense with that. Repeating a few things that were in my email yesterday. It is important for us to track our volunteer service hours. And those hours don't have to be part of a Rotary program. It might be a church project. I might be another service organization. But Rotary International is particularly interested in the number of hours that our members perform. And then also for the presidential citation, there is a goal that we have down for the number of members that actually participate. So if you would please report to Jeanette Weens, and her email address is in my yesterday's email. And if you'll just let her know with a real brief description of what you've done and an estimate of the hours, that's helpful, because she's going to get all that data put together, and then we report that to RI. On a similar note, our service committee has in the past and is going to do it again. They're going to be calling members that we haven't seen for a while. And it's understandable. Some people are just not real wild about Zoom. Either they do it a lot or they're getting tired of it. In any event, we reach out to those people, see how they're doing, how they're doing with the pandemic and everything. And if you are interested in doing that, that's something you can do from the safety of your home. It'll give you something to do, and it's kind of fun to connect with some people that you maybe have not seen or talked to a while. Give Steve Knoll, send him an email, and Steve's email address is also in my weekly email from yesterday. I want to wish a speedy recovery to Rehan Reza. He's out of the hospital. He's back home. Jim Liker was in the hospital, I think, for about a week and with a very serious case of COVID, but he is back home, and I think he's actually getting back to work on a limited basis. I haven't heard recently from Bob Clausen. Last I knew, he was weathering COVID at home. And I hope that's still the case, that it's not serious enough that he has to be hospitalized. If you're aware of any of our other members, please let me know, because we want to kind of let everybody know how our membership is faring. I think that concludes my announcements. And let me move to our presenter today. And this is actually a repeat visit. Katrin Bridges serves as the Senior Vice President of Innovation for the Greater Topeka Partnership. and is responsible for building a high-performance entrepreneurial ecosystem and with a strengthening of Topeka's footprint in the animal health corridor. In her role, she is building key partnerships in the animal health and ag tech sectors and has been instrumental in bringing Plug and Play innovation platform to Topeka. And it was about a year ago, Katrin presented, but I am so excited about Plug and Play. This could really have a major impact on our town, a very positive one. So with that, I'd like to turn it over to Katrin and have her give us an update on Plug and Play.
Well, thank you so much, Stan, and thank you so much for your interest. I'm happy to be back. I remember presenting to this group, and as last time, I'd much rather have this be more of a conversation than a presentation. But I have a few slides that I'm just going to put on, if you don't mind, so it's easier to follow all the new information that I have. So it's all great news, and I hope this is going to work just as well as when we tested it. Okay, you see my Plug and Play update slide?
Yes, we do.
Okay, excellent. So you may have heard in the media or through other channels that we've been able to launch our first cohort for Plug and Play. But just as a little summary, just in case some of you may not have been at the last presentation. What is a high performance entrepreneur ecosystem? And Stan, that's a mouthful. And I put this little slide together just to make it a little easier to understand how we define that, right? So if you put yourself in the shoes of an entrepreneur, what does he or she need to be successful? And so it starts with space. So we have a strategy to get an innovation campus up and running in the next year or two. You need excellent programming, and that are programs like incubator programs or accelerator programs or training programs that you can offer to the entrepreneurs. And that is where Plug and Play would fall into this pillar. Access to funding, and that's not just venture capital, that is angel investors, that's seed funds, that's different things. And it is important to have the right connections, right? And depending on what kind of industry you're in, we focus on animal health. The Animal Health Corridor organization is important. You know, making the right connections for your family too. So that end-to-end support network is it makes a lot of sense to look at it this way. But it's kind of hard to pull off because it's a lot of different parties that are involved in an ecosystem. So I'm going to focus on Plug and Play, which is in the programming pillar, the gray one. And if you remember, the Animal Health Corridor is really what kicked this strategy off, right? So we are in the industry cluster for animal health that doesn't exist anywhere else in the world. So 56% of global revenue for animal health, animal nutrition, and diagnostic companies is generated by companies that have a footprint in this 300-mile stretch between Manhattan, Kansas, and Columbia, Missouri. And 300 companies, 20,000 employees. I think these numbers have gone up since that last survey. So this is the proposition that we build off our vision with Plug and Play on, right? And Plug and Play, if you remember, is that innovation platform, as they call themselves, that matches startups, corporate partners, and investors, right? So it's very much a similar idea of that ecosystem, leveraging ecosystems, and then making the right introductions with the ultimate goal to make those startup companies successful, make corporate partners successful, and for Plug and Play to find the most lucrative investment opportunities. Just to give you an idea in numbers, just in 2019, they accelerated over 1,400 startups across the world. $5 billion were raised by their portfolio companies. They made 250 global investments in 2019. So that's one of the most active venture capital funds in the country. They have a network of 400 plus corporate partners across the world, 300 plus venture capital funds in the ecosystem. And they're working with close to 30,000 startups across different industry sectors. And here we are. As of 2020, Topeka is now an official location for Plug and Play on the map, taking up the space for, or the spot for the first animal health related accelerator program for Plug and Play. We're in pretty good company if you look at all these locations. So this is the website on Plug and Play's website. I just took a screenshot of it, and for those of you who don't see it, that's where we are now, and we are in good company, right next to Sao Paulo, Paris, Frankfurt, Munich, Cleveland, Silicon Valley, North Dakota. It still brings a little tear to my eye to see Topeka on the website there. I encourage you to go to their website. It's full of very cool resources. You can rewatch their events. You can sign up for webinars, wherever your interest is, if you're interested in really cutting edge innovation. The website is plugandplaytechcenter.com/Topeka if you want to check the Topeka site out. And so animal health is the newest vertical that, as I mentioned, you see the other ones. The early programs that Plug and Play started out with was InsurTech and retail, brand and retail, supply chain, and so on. Newer ones are new materials, ag tech, COVID-19. There was an accelerator program last year, and animal health. So we're number 19. And here are just some of the innovation trends that are related to animal health and ag tech, just to show you what kind of cool innovations are out there that could potentially be sourced for our corporate partners, right? So ingredient innovation, farm management, crop protection, but also food supply chain management, right? Last mile delivery, food waste, biotechnology is part of it, food safety is part of it. And all those topics have been really highlighted with COVID-19 and supply chain issues, safety issues, and so on. So there's, I hate to say it, but COVID-19 really highlighted the need for innovation. And we would have liked to not go through COVID-19 to see it, but a lot of these trends are really problem solving a lot of the things that COVID gave to us. So this is if I talked to you about a year ago, we had our first kickoff event in March, early March. That was just before everything closed down. And there was an advantage to that in that we were able to get on Saeed Amidi's calendar. He was the CEO of Plug and Play. And you see him there in the middle. He actually welcomed the participants and the attendees on behalf of Plug and Play personally. You see the podium for one of the podium discussions panels with really high level presenters. So you have the lady in red is Kim Young, who leads the Animal Health Corridor organization. You have the CEO of Hill's Pet Nutrition, Jesper Nordengard there, and a few others. So it drew about 150 attendees. We hosted it at Security Benefit, and really was a thoroughly successful event. And then COVID hit, right? And And that is when everything migrated online. And Plug and Play really didn't skip a beat. You may have heard announced that our 3 corporate partners that have signed up so far are Cargill, Hill's Pet Nutrition, and Effigy. And those are really the ones that drive a lot of the strategy of the program right now. They are a big part of the decision making when it comes to which startups get accepted in the accelerator program. And so because of these 3 companies, we were able to launch our batch 0, the first ever animal health related cohort on October 21st. And I would like to share with you a little video that we put together that shows some of these partners, shows some of the players, and see what kind of high expectations they have from the program. And this is all to put Topeka on the map in the animal health corridor. So let me share this with you. I'm going to stop sharing this one, go to a different screen. And here we go. Does everybody see Jesper now? Yes? Okay.
Yes.
Here we go.
Welcome to Topeka. We like to say that we are the heart of the heartland. And you know what is a huge part of this? Innovation. Our community is part of a 350-mile corridor that focuses on bio-agro industries. And we are responsible, this whole corridor is responsible for over $50 billion in sales. 56% of the total global sales of bio-agro products. In our community, Topeka, we're kicking it up a notch, and we're doing so by joining with Plug and Play. I am excited about our future, and I would invite you to join us.
It is with great pleasure to announce that we are coming to Topeka, Kansas. We feel as animal health and ag tech and biosciences come together, we could create an incredible innovation platform in Topeka. We have had a great experience in different technology verticals like banking, insurance, mobility, but we feel it is time now to combine our knowledge of finding great technology and startups and helping them to realize their dream in ag tech and animal health in Topeka. Thank you very much for joining us in this journey.
Innovation is everything for us. We thrive because we have an innovative culture, and we obviously need to have an innovative community and be part of that innovative community. So having a group like Plug and Play coming here is essential for us to continue to evolve and continue to grow and win in the global pet nutrition market. And Kansas has for a long time been building a network of innovators around here that feed off each other and build a lot of successful companies. They're big companies that you can work with, and there's also all the small startups. So this is a very unique area. We like to think of it like the Silicon Valley for animal health.
Cargill strives to be at the front of innovation and new technology. Through our partnership with Plug and Play and the launch of its first animal health and ag tech accelerator, we've brought together some of the brightest minds and boldest ideas in agriculture and protein production. Topeka is the new frontier for agricultural technologies, and we're thrilled to be part of the growth which will come from this rich new ecosystem.
Our work with Plug and Play in their animal health corridor has been a great asset to us and our company. The network that they provide to help us make introductions to different companies and potential partners has been invaluable so that we can continue to accelerate our work and our business.
Topeka
is a great opportunity for these startups with the I-70 corridor, all the animal science and ag tech that we're looking forward to. I mean, right now it's huge in this area. We've got great partners like Hill's Pet Nutrition and Cargill, who are other founding members of this venture. And, you know, we just want to see additional companies like them. Those companies are great community partners as well. And we just want to see this whole area continue to grow and thrive. We really look at our partnership with Plug and Play as an investment in the future. We will get an opportunity to work with some great startup companies, and we hope that someday they will call Topeka and the surrounding area home.
We are so excited to start this new chapter in Topeka's story. Plug and Play gives us and our partners across the heartland access to a global network of innovators. Over 400 of the most prominent global corporations will be able to access innovative products and services developed by our local entrepreneurs. We're creating opportunities for our homegrown talent to develop technologies that can be scaled globally from right here. And we're creating real economic impact by bringing about 20 startup companies to Topeka every year to show what we have to offer. We welcome them to our emerging ecosystem that offers a large amount of resources and that will soon be anchored by Topeka's new innovation district. Keep an eye on Topeka. There's more exciting things to come. All right. So this gave you the opportunity to hear from more than me how well we've been doing. Let me go back to my PowerPoint. We were about here. Okay, so what is next? We had, as I mentioned, this was the kickoff video for our October 21st event. We had 10 startups pitch at that event, and those are, here, you see the startups on the screen. They were from Australia, UK, Spain, Sweden, Florida, Silicon Valley, and Colorado. So they really came from all over the world, and you know, I stay in touch with them. I try to understand the best I can what their needs are in the future, and see if I can connect them to resources that we have to offer in Topeka and in the region to make a case that this is a great place to do business and to be successful and to grow. So if you think about it, we're going to have, as you see here, about 8 to 12 startups in every cohort, and that's every 6 months. So that's 20 startups a year that go through the accelerator program. But those are selected from 20 to 30 startups that are pitching on selection day. And in my mind, you know, there's no reason not to get in touch and connect with those 20 to 30 startups to see if anybody has an interest to develop a footprint here in Topeka. But this is the sourcing process that or the selection process that Plug and Play goes through for every single cohort. They source from 500 plus startups, have 100 shortlisted, then those get reviewed by the corporate partners, and 20 to 30 get selected to pitch on selection day. 8 to 12 get selected to be part of the program, which is 3 months. And then pilots are really the goal of the program, right? So those are test projects with those corporate partners that could lead to the startups having a big client that helps them scale the technology, have a minority investor, or even get acquired later on. So this is the schedule for 2021. We're going to have selection day on March 24th, March 25th, startup orientation day. And then the 3-month program. All of the events are going to be virtual again, just because we don't know yet how COVID is going to affect when we can meet again. And please keep in mind also, those startups are coming from all over the world, right? So they all have different situations in the locations where they are right now. Yeah, so that's really my update from compared to last year. Happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Do we have any questions from our members?
I have one. When you talk about a campus, are you thinking of a campus in the Shawnee County area? And what would be the parameters for that campus?
Yeah, so that's a very good question. I didn't focus on that in this presentation, but you're absolutely right. We need to provide space options for those startups that we want to attract, right? And so yes, it is a campus that will be located somewhere in Shawnee County. We currently have 2 viability assessments that take place, led by 2 different expertise for their expertise in life science campuses, innovation campuses, and so we're reviewing with the Innovation Advisory Board the outcomes of their recommendations, and determine the right path forward in terms of what site to select, how big it's going to be, and what partners we're going to involve. But yes, it will definitely be somewhere in Shawnee County.
So Katrin, my question was going to be, will you be expanding across Kansas at some point, or this will stay within Shawnee County, Topeka?
Are you referring to the plug and play program? Or?
Yes, the program.
So here's how I would answer that question. It is very important. Well, the goal is to make those startup companies successful, right? And we do that by capitalizing on the opportunities across the animal health corridor. That means we're starting, and we're developing relationships with all kinds of partners across Kansas and across the animal health corridor. So we see this really as a regional play that will give Topeka really the opportunity to develop into a hub of innovation, where we draw in assets and resources from across Kansas and the animal health corridor. So it is going to have regional implications for sure. And in terms of expansion for plug and play, I think their strategy is to develop a foothold in the Midwest by starting with Topeka, and then see how much interest they can generate, maybe in additional or adjacent verticals or industries, just like supply chain logistics, right? We're a logistics hub in the Kansas City region. So if there's opportunities further down the road, yes, they would like to add on more corporate partners in a variety of industries to grow their footprint here in the Midwest. So we're really their springboard for activities here in the entire region.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Sounds good.
Connected me.
Any other questions?
Oh, do we have any other questions? I am not seeing any additional questions, but the questions were good ones. Well, I did note one of the chats suggested that we invite you to become a member of our club. So I'm officially doing that right now. We would love to have you as part of our club. You'll see from the pictures on the screen, we have a wide variety of people and people that are well connected in our community. So we would like to have you on board. Last call for questions, and if not, I'm going to let you know our speaker next week. And thank you very much for the presentation. I can't overstate what a coup this was for the city of Topeka. I mean, this is absolutely fabulous, and it's exciting. I mean, partly for selfish reasons. I'm a small business owner and I want to see Topeka prosper, but it's so good on so many levels. Our speaker next week will be Jeff Russell from Reese's Fine Foods. And with that, I will go ahead and recite the 4-way test. Join me if you want to, but it's a little bit hard to do it in a synchronized fashion. But in any event, of the things we think, say, or do, is it truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? And will it be fun and kind? Thank you, everybody. Stay in touch. Get a hold of Steve Knoll if you want to be a caller to our members. Report your volunteer hours to Jeanette Weens. Have a safe and healthy weekend, and we will see you next week. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks, Dan.